All right, out there to the right, those are the okapis. Okapis are usually thought to be relatives of the zebra due to those colorings on their legs, but they're actually the closest living relative to the giraffe. That's due to both of those animals having very similar skull structures. Now over to the left, these are the greater kudu. They will be one of the larger species of antelope in the forest here. Only the males are able to grow horns, but they'll grow in at about 6 feet long in a spiral formation. So the few we did just see were females. Now friends, a lot of the animals we will be seeing in the forest today do have natural adaptations that help them to blend in a lot better with their surroundings. For most of them, it is their first line of defense against their predators, but sometimes it does make my job a little bit harder. Oh, out there to the left. It's a little hard to see, but there is a black rhino out there. Now, if you couldn't see him too well, that's okay. We'll look and see if there's any other black rhinos in the area. But they will be one of the smaller species of rhinos in Africa. They'll only weigh up to about 3,000 pounds. I know, so small. But they can still charge between 30 and 35 miles per hour. Let's see. Out there to the left. He looks like a rock. That's a rhino.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Way out there.
He's just laying down out there. Just relaxing.
Ja, daarboven zit inderdaad een neushoorn. Rhino.
All right, now also coming up here to the left, there's a saddle-billed stork over here.
Zeker wel.
These saddle-billed storks can grow to be 5 feet tall with a wingspan of 7 to 8 feet across. Now further up there on that hill to the left, there is a bongo. Bongos are often called the ghosts of the forest because of how rarely they are ever seen. But both males and females for the bongos have those horns on top of their head. They'll actually use them as a way to detangle themselves from the thick brush here in the forest.
Echt veel water, joh.
Ja.
All right, let's keep moving on.
Gisteren heeft het 4-5 uur geregend.
At the river, it'll be home to more of those aquatic animals, so just make sure you're watching those waters. You never know what may pop up to say hello. All right, I am seeing some pink-backed pelicans. Those are the larger birds down here on this bank. As they lift their wings, you can kind of see that pink coloring underneath them. That's about as pink as they're going to get, and that's how they get their name. They'll mostly turn pink during their mating season, which with the warmer climate here is basically mimicked year-round. So you can kind of see it with this one on the rocks to the right. His wings are kind of lifted. That pink coloring, that's about as pink as they'll get. Ooh, look out to the left. The Nile hippos. Now, Nile hippos will spend a majority of the daytime in the waters, one, as a natural form of protection from any predators, but it also helps to keep them a lot cooler throughout the day. They can hold their breath for a little over 6 minutes at a time in those waters, only popping their heads up for brief moments to get a little more air. Now, yes, they can swim, they're just not very good at it. They're a lot better at sinking. So they'll sink to the bottom of these waters and they will walk, trot, or run along that bottom surface, which gives the illusion that they're swimming. Actually helps them to save a lot more energy by doing it that way too.
Hey, going up there.
Ja.
Oh, that's one too.
Alright, I'm not seeing any other hippos out there, but I see some Nile crocodiles. Nile crocodiles will be the largest species of crocodile in Africa, growing between 15 and 17 feet long, but sometimes even larger. They can also reach sizes of about 1,000 pounds. They can eat half of their body weight in one sitting, so sometimes they will only eat around once or twice a week.
Dat zijn dus wel echte krokodillen.
Let's head on over to the savanna. The savanna will be home to some of Africa's more famous animals that we all know and love. Those will include the giraffe, the wildebeest, the zebra, and the cheetah.
Oh, the cheetah, the same.
Alright friends, over to the right, this is the baobab tree, also known as the tree of life. You may have seen something similar to it today. That baobab tree will be one of Africa's largest, most iconic trees, able to go leafless for up to 9 months out of the year as a way for it to conserve its waters. In doing so, the baobab tree can store up to 40,000 gallons of water within its trunk, which a majority of the animals that live here on the savanna can drink from during times of drought. It is one of the reasons it is called the Tree of Life.
Hey.
Oh, I think my friend sees something back there. What do you see? Some giraffes, some cattle. Ooh, I definitely see some giraffes.
Wat giraffen?
Alrighty, friends, and welcome to the savanna. Now, a lot of the time, depending on migrational patterns, food patterns, time of day, and even the weather will depend on what animals we get to see out here. Now, like I said, since it is a very beautiful day out, I think we're going to have some great luck at finding most of these animals out and about today. To the left. Look underneath that rock den out there. Those are African painted dogs, not to be confused with the hyena, two very completely different animals. But those African painted dogs are very social. They tend to hang out in larger groups of about 20 to 25 members. Those groups will contain both an alpha male as well as an alpha female. Yes, they look very cute and cuddly out there, but they're one of Africa's top hunters with about an 80% success rate.
Ja, toch?
Coming up to the right, those are Ankoli cattle. They get that name from the Watusi tribe, which originally domesticated them in Central Africa. Now you're also going to have some sable antelope out there to the left. Those are the dark brown animals. And then a little closer to us here, these little guys are the springbok. Now springbok are really interesting animals. They can only grow to be about 3 to 4 feet tall, but they can spring 6 feet in the air from a standstill, or if they're moving forward, they reach about 13 feet in the air through an action called pronking. When springbok are pronking through the savanna, they can reach speeds of up to 55 miles per hour, making them a part of the top 10 fastest land mammals in the world. Alright, for the main attraction, what everyone came to see, the giraffes. Now these are all Maasai giraffes. There's the Maasai and the reticulated with about 9 subspecies below those two. All giraffes will be the world's tallest animals, reaching between 17 and 20 feet tall. On top of that, they have really long tongues. They can stick them out between 17 and 19 inches. Now all those factors are really important for this animal because they'll spend up to 20 hours a day eating. It's pretty relatable, right?
Right.
Maybe just me. Now over to the right, you did see a very special sight. Does anyone know what I'm referring to? The giraffe laying down. Yes. So that's actually very rare to see out in the wild because it puts them in a very vulnerable position, so it's easier for them to be attacked by any predators. So when we see them doing that on the reserve, it just lets us know they are so comfortable with their surroundings, they're just going to sit back and relax. Now, I also told you at the beginning of our journey that these guys are related to the okapi, and the reason is for those two little things between their ears. Those are ossicones, fur-covered pieces of cartilage. Both males and females for the giraffes will have them. Only male okapis can grow those ossicones, though.
Yeah.
Wat een hoorn zijn die beesten.
Alright, there's another one hiding over there to the left. I guess I really can't say hiding. It's hard for a giraffe to hide. Oh, and another special friend. Look out to the right. That's a baby zebra. She's about 9 months old. Her mama's around here somewhere. She's very independent, so she likes kind of roaming around by herself. Now that is a Hartmann's mountain zebra. They will live in more of the mountainous regions of Africa, but just how we humans have our own unique set of fingerprints, each zebra will have their own unique set of stripes. Now that's especially important for baby zebras. They will sometimes memorize their mama's stripe pattern. In case they're ever split up from one another, baby knows exactly what their mama looks like.
Oh.
Alrighty, friends, I think I saw a few wildebeest over here. Those are the grayer toned animals hanging out. Yep, there's a few of them hanging back in the shade over there. Now looking ahead, I am noticing quite a few knocked down trees. That's a good sign there might be some elephants nearby. Let's go take a look.
knock down trees.
Yeah.
Alright, I see some movement, but they're a little hard to see. If you look way back to the right in the shade of those trees, there is an elephant back there, but she's a little harder to see. So we're going to see if we can get a little bit closer to them, so just give me a second. Is there anything else hiding in this area though? I don't think. You can see it for a little bit better over here. Now, because these animals are so large, they do have to eat quite a bit throughout the day to keep up their energy supply. So sometimes these elephants can eat up to about 400 pounds of food daily. And they can also consume up to 35 gallons of water in a day too.
Hier 100 pond aan voedsel. Dat is veel.
Alrighty, my friends, so we may get the chance to see a few more of those African elephants further down in the savannah here. But if you're anything like me, I have a beginning to trample into croplands. So those farmers weren't really liking it. They began poaching those elephants. So to help them out, we thought of the idea, beehive fences. So that's exactly what they did. They made a bunch of beehive fences, put those around the croplands, and those elephants did not show up for up to 10 miles away from those croplands. So it made a better relationship between those farmers and elephants, but it also made another crop for those humans to sell, which was the honey. Now these efforts were proven to be so successful that they're actually trying it all the way over in Asia too with some of those elephants.
It's real life.
Alright friends, and it does look like we found the greater flamingos. These greater flamingos will be one of the lightest colored flamingos, but they're also the largest of the flamingos. They'll all achieve that pink coloring from their diet, which mostly consists of brine shrimp. So when they're first born, they do look like little gray fuzzballs. It takes them around 18 to 36 months to get that full pink coloring that we're seeing in them now. And a fun fact, a group of these flamingos will be called a flamboyance. White rhinos will be a larger species of rhino. They can weigh up to about 5,000 pounds. They also tend to be a lot more social with one another, hanging out in groups that we call a crash. Not really sure where that name came from, but I'm assuming it's because when they do get a big group together, they all just crash around with each other. That's what I'm thinking. Now you will see there's a very large mud wallow here to the left. They often visit that mud wallow. They'll cover themselves in it as a way to protect their sensitive skin from the sun, but it also helps protect them from any pesky bugs they have to deal with on a daily basis.
Aww.
Alright friends, keep your eyes out to the left because I think I spotted something. Wink wink. Yes, cheetahs. They're all the way out there underneath the shade of those bushes.
Oh, way out there. You see them?
Now those ones are kind of hiding, so if you can't see them too well, that's okay. Let's move up a little bit and see if we can find a few more of those cheetahs. Now they will be the world's fastest land mammals, able to reach speeds of about 60 to 65 miles per hour in just 3 seconds. They can't maintain that speed for too long or else they'll become very overheated very quickly, but they can usually maintain it just long enough to reach whatever they're chasing. Okay, look back behind, or between those trees by those bushes, there's 2 of them laying back there. Do you see them?
Oh, okay. Over to the right.
Yeah.
To the right.
They're very good at camouflaging. Alright, now unlike the larger cat species like the lion and the tiger, cheetahs cannot roar. They'll communicate through chirping and purring noises like our common household cats would make. So despite what some people would like to say, those cheetahs are not a part of the big cat family. Let's see what we can find around here. Sometimes we do find other predators in this area, either hanging out or just taking cat naps. Kind of depends on them.
I'll block you my
Speaking of cats napping, look to the left. Those are the lions. There's also an ostrich coming up here to the right. Now these lions are nocturnal animals, which I don't think a lot of people openly know about lions. They will spend about 16 to 20 hours of the day sleeping. At night is when they'll become the most active and begin to hunt and socialize. As for that ostrich to the right, she is the world's largest bird. Although flightless, they can run between 40 and 45 miles per hour. Oh, he woke up. Not for long though.
She's like, are you done?
Sometimes these lions do like to vocalize. We can usually hear them from about 3 to 5 miles away. So sometimes in the very early mornings, we're lucky enough to hear them from the very front of the park where you originally scanned in this morning. Burrows from other animals who already made them so that they don't have to waste their energy in doing so.
Is it Terry?
Eerst maar de rest van terug.
Now we did get to see an ostrich during our journey today, but during my last safari I was able to find some ostrich eggs, so I'm going to show those to you guys as well. Alright, look out to the right. They're right next to those grasses there. Those are ostrich eggs.
Oh yeah.
Those will be the world's largest egg, each one weighing up to 4 pounds. So one ostrich egg is almost equivalent to 2 dozen chicken eggs, and those shells are so strong that a full-grown man could stand on them and not even put a crack in those eggs.
Wow.
Alright my friends, we're now heading on into Magadi Glen, home of our Warden's Outpost. Now the Wardens on the reserve do have a very important job, and that is to protect and advocate for all these animals you saw here today. Oh, and it looks like one of our Wardens is hanging out here, but it also looks like they left behind some of our other friends that the guests tend to like a lot more. The Nigerian dwarf goats.
Yeah.
Now right next to these Nigerian dwarf goats, if you look out in the yard, you'll see that yellow post thing there. Does anyone want to guess what that is? It's an elephant, the beehive fence post that we were talking about during our safari. That's exactly what they look like. And they'll actually make them out of recycled items so that it's healthier for the environment too. To say Kwaherini, which means to go well. So Kwaherini, my friends, go well, go wild. Have a fantastic rest of your day here at Disney's Animal Kingdom or wherever your next adventure may take you. Once again, my name was Kayla. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. On the right, watch those hands, arms, feet, and legs. Doors are opening.